Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard. So this is a brushing set in 1/48 scale, which should come handy with their recent release in the same scale, F4F-3 Wildcat. And this is a cockpit with a reflector gun sight. It should be a direct replacement for the original plastic cockpit, and in my opinion this might be a great upgrade for a 1/48 scale build, so that's why I decided to take a closer look. And we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So first of all, this box comes in a standard size, but we have quite a new sign here. As you can see, it reads here that it's a print set, what means that this set is actually made with the help of 3D printing technology, which is quite modern, and Eduard seems to be using it quite actively recently in their new releases, and this one is part of it. So we are going to take a closer look right now. First of all, I have to note that the cockpit on this 3D render, it looks quite impressive. Here on the side we have some safety devices as well as some information about the kit. I can also see the price here. It should be around 42 euros, and the set number is 648777. Okay, so this is a sealed box. As you can see, it's sealed with a tape, which is not that difficult to cut through. I'm just going to use a knife and we will open it in a second. I think I noted it in the previous video reviews, but you can see that the cardboard is now thinner in comparison with what we had before. Oh, we have more seals here on the side, so I'm going to cut through them right now as well. So just give me a second. Here and here. Okay. So inside we have the assembly manual, and we have all the parts here in several plastic bags with a foam bottom of this box, which should actually protect all these parts. And I suggest we start with the biggest ones, because here we have quite an interesting engineering, to be honest. Due to the 3D printing technology, all these parts are actually printed in a huge sub-assemblies, so it doesn't require you to work with the small parts to connect them here and there. You just get this one piece section which is ready to be used straight away. And as you can see, for example, here we have the cockpit floor, we have rear bulkhead, and we have some additional items here which are, let's say, pre-casted or pre-molded. Of course, we have also this resin supports. This is something what you cannot avoid with the 3D printing technology, but overall quality looks really impressive. I mean, look at these thin supports. They are quite amazing, and I think this is something what you cannot achieve even with some resin parts. You will have to use them as a separate parts. These are obviously the thin supports for the pilot seat or railings, so they look really good. And here you can see this, let's say, cockpit floor from the side. So all these supports are also quite impressive, but do not be overwhelmed by them. They are quite easy to cut through, so I don't think it will be a huge challenge for you. And next we also have one more. I guess this is the fuel tank. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a huge specialist in a Wildcat aircraft, but you can see here that it is also casted as a single piece part, which should be directly compatible with what we saw before. So this is not all, because this was just the first plastic bag. I will place it here, and then we have the second plastic bag, which comes with a bit smaller parts. Here you can see them. So just give me a second to open them and we'll check them one by one. So first of all, what do we have here? We have the maximum zoom, so I won't be zooming anymore. And here, for example, you can see rudder pedals, which are molded together or casted together with the central console. And this is pretty much the same design as what we have in the original plastic kit. And as you can see, all these supports are quite thin, so with some careful, let's say, cutting and also a bit of sanding, you'll be able to get a really nice result. So this is the first part out of this plastic bag. Next we continue with the side console, and here the most interesting thing is that we have all the handles are pre-molded or pre-casted. You can see these are really thin parts, and you have to be careful in order not to break them. But in my opinion, this is a really impressive piece of engineering, because it will not require you adding your own metal wire or something. You get them ready out of the box. Next, we continue with the pivot seat. This one is also casted as a single piece part, and here you can see it. We have really nice surface details, so the only thing required from you is to remove all these supports from the bottom and from the rear, and you're good to go. And note the thickness. I mean, it's almost translucent in the back area, so that's why it's I would say a visible benefit of the 3D printing, something you cannot argue with when you see it with your own eyes. Next, we continue with another side console. So this one is even more sophisticated, because here we have various controls in a, let's say, a bit bigger quality or quantity, not the quality. I mean, quality is the same, it's high. And as you can see, it is actually printed under a slight angle, also an interesting thing to notice. But what impresses me is the let's say how fine the printing quality is. You can see the comparison with my fingertips. These are actually really tiny elements, and they're carefully replicated out of resin. Next, we continue with the instrument panel, and I will actually show you two of them, because we are given two options. So first one will be the plain option. I guess it will be used with the PE parts which are supplied in this set, and we'll review them later. And here we have also one with the casted surface. So here you have to apply decals for the dials, but it can be also a nice option if you are ready to work with all these things in this scale. And the last item is the combing panel and control stick, and also the target side, which is printed together with the combing panel. And as you can see, these are really fine parts, so I guess you will have to use tweezers. There is no other way around it, and I mean, do not even try to handle it with the bare fingers, because otherwise you might end up with an ugly result and some damaged parts. Okay, next, as I said, we have several bonuses. So here is the plastic bag with decals, transparent film, and PE fret. So we are going to check them one by one. Just give me a second to open the plastic bag. First of all, I have to note that the PE fret not only pre-painted, but it also features the glazing over the dials. You can see it here on this video like this, under the angle to the light. As for the PE parts, they are quite typical for Eduard. The only thing that we get the steel fret, not the typical PE parts. And it means they are thinner, and therefore they will be a bit more flexible, and it's especially, I would say, beneficial for the seat belts. So that's why it will help you to get a really nice result. But that's not always, you remember. We also have decals and clear film for the target side. So just give me a second. I wouldn't say that this is something special or unusual, but it's still nice to get a choice for the instrument panel. So first of all, here is the clear film for the target side. As you can see, it is so tiny, the camera does not even want to focus on the film. But believe me, yeah, here now you can see that there are two pieces of the film. And as I said, we also have decals. They are printed in Eduard, and they are mostly concerned with the stencils in the cockpit, and also various dials which will be applied on the side consoles and also on the instrument panel. And next we continue with assembly manual. So maybe I'll move all these parts aside so that we won't damage anything. Let's zoom out a bit, maybe close the lenses. So, assembly manual is typical for bracing set from Eduard. We also get, let's say, a 3D layout of all the parts which are supplied in this set. And assembly process starts, I guess it should start inside. This is something what a bit surprises me every time. No, here. So, here we have the first steps for this set. Maybe I'll close lenses even more so that you can understand what we are talking about. So, assembly process starts with the pilot seat, then we install it onto the cockpit floor, which is, as you remember, casted as a single piece part. Note that you have to delete some pre-casted parts because it will be necessary for the particular versions of the aircraft. So we have pilot seat in place, and then we go with the step number 2. So that's whole page actually 2 pages. It's a first step, and then we go with the step number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what you have to do here is to install various bulkheads, also more controls, including the control stick here. We also install the headrest here, and also we work on the side consoles where you have to do some fine painting as well as using the or applying all the decals. Next, we continue with combining this resin or brushing cockpit set together with some metal wire. That's the first thing. And then you also install the plastic parts from the original kit, so be ready to use them. And if I flip them over, I mean the page, here you can see the final steps. So here you have to decide whether you would like to use the PE parts for the instrument panel or decals. And then the combing panel with the target side and the film. And then we install all this stuff between fuselage halves, obviously the standard plastic parts. And here on the last page you can see the parts map, paints chart, and some safety devices for this release. So all in all, we get a really impressive cockpit replacement for Wildcat in 1/48 scale. In my opinion, this is absolutely recommended purchase for all modelers who would like to upgrade their model and get something even more impressive. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a release. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.